All right, everyone. Well, welcome to another episode of the Unfiltered Historian. I am here today. Let me get this working. There we go. With Darren
Good evening. In the same room,
in
not
the
on.
same
Can you
room.
believe that?
I know that is incredible. So we are here today at Strangeways, actually, and the purpose really behind us going live from Strangeways is because we normally do our unfiltered conversations, and we normally have that being done from more of a traditional standpoint of us being, let's say, in our computers or at our phones at home or anything like that. Let me see, I'll put it this way so Darren can actually be in the video here, and you can hear a train passing by.
And just as you said earlier in the car on the way, there it goes.
We did. We kind of stopped by it.
And actually, that's got some historical significance, that rail line, because where does that run past from where we were yesterday?
So that actually runs through the Fredericksburg battlefield, which is what we covered yesterday. So yesterday, for those that have tuned into what we did on Facebook Live, we covered the Fredericksburg 159th anniversary, which was incredibly fun to do. Even just from a remembrance standpoint, it was awesome to be able to get out there and remember the battle and engage with folks, and just it let Darren see some of this stuff for the first time, because
it was all inspiring.
Darren hadn't had the opportunity to see places like Slaughter Pen Farm or any other of the places such as that. So we figured we wanted to make another episode to just really discuss, debrief, if you will, stress relief, if you will, because we decided to go get some brews, like always.
Cheers everybody.
To you too, man. But yeah, we're here for that. So if you guys have any questions or want to join in the conversation, you're welcome to as well. But I'm going to start first by asking Darren quite a few questions, actually. If Darren, you're okay with that?
Yeah,
cool. We can be chatty Cathy when we're together, that's for sure. All right. My first question to you. Out of all of the battlefields that you have seen, we'll talk Fredericksburg first. Out of everything at Fredericksburg that we have done, do you have anything in particular that stands out to you the most, or that you remember the most from yesterday?
Yeah, that would be Slaughter Pen Farm.
That'd be Slaughter Pen.
Literally just. Is it? I don't know where we're sitting in relation to it.
Not far, actually. At all.
Is it that way? I don't know. Oh, that way.
That way.
So that absolutely blew my socks off. I won't lie to you.
Yeah, I saw them go flying in the air.
Not
they just
once,
up
but
and went.
twice.
That's right. You got a unique experience.
When we went out there in the morning, we saw that open ground. I really got a sense of how the plane looked in front of the stone wall. But when we went out there the second time, Tyler pointed out to me a lot of things, and obviously some of those, wow, yeah. I mean, and seeing it, I mean, the ground, it's really strange. So you go out there and the ground looks like it's going down, and then you go to a different position, it's flat.
Yeah. It's a hell of a game of terrain. It is very deceiving. And you get down to that railroad at the very end of the trail. So a lot of folks don't actually make it all the way down to the end of Slaughter Pen Farm, which if you haven't, I highly recommend that you do, because going down there and seeing that and understanding how the terrain plays a part into the battle is absolutely necessary to understanding a battle, if you will. So when you can make it down to places like Slaughter Pen Farm and then see that there's this just drastic terrain change, it helps you better understand how Slaughter Pen Farm plays into the annals of history, specifically the Battle of Fredericksburg. And I think today, too, one thing I've noticed when you were walking around me is like the impressions you left. You've never been to Chancellorsville before.
No.
And because you visited parts of Fredericksburg in 06, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But we took him to Chancellorsville today, and he said at first, I remember it was, I believe, what was your favorite site at first at Chancellorsville? You said there was something.
So it was Hazel Grove at first.
That's right.
With the cannons, where they do the dueling with the cannons. But then, yeah.
It like changed almost.
Yeah, I think that's when he took me out to Spotsylvania. But that place is a real heavy feel. And
incredibly so.
If you know your history, you know that the reason why it's like that is because of the bloodshed and horrendous fighting that happened there.
No, and Spotsylvania was no joke at all either. And we went back to look at some of the earthworks that some of the scouts put in the 80s. They're dilapidated and falling apart, but I think it's unique in its own right to be able to see some of these things that are on a battlefield like that, because it does help for the human, or my mind anyways, to see that and try to replicate that in my mind as, okay, this is what it would have looked like, very similarly what it would have looked like to how the soldiers left it, or how the soldiers experienced it with all the fighting and the artillery shells that are smashing on this. It gave it that appearance that it was just withstood a battle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, let's get back to Fredericksburg here. I'm going to check and see if anyone's commenting. My finger's going to get in the way too, apparently, because that's how this works. Yeah, we have some comments here. Let's see what we got. Braceface Jerry says, hello, Jerry. Hello. Welcome to the Unfiltered Historian. But yeah, we are today again just kind of going over and finishing up our Fredericksburg 159 talk. We spent some time today at Chancellorsville, and that was just awesome. I mean, again, it was the first time you've been there, so you got to see that all over for yourself. But I mean, what's it like being in the States? This is your first time here since COVID reared its ugly face.
I love this country. I won't lie to you, but I particularly love Virginia. Central Virginia is amazing. You have got a real rich talent of Civil War experts, buffs in this area. That's for sure.
No shortage.
And I tell you now, they want to help you learn about it, which is great. And the preservation movement, Central Virginia Battlefields Trust, is something that I champion. And I got a real good goodie bag yesterday when we went and visited Terry Rensel.
That's right.
So we'll give that a plug.
Yeah, CVBT, as always, we try to plug some of the people that have helped shape us as historians and made us want to be in this field more. CVBT, places like ECW, ABT, all of those guys are great organizations that not only help promote the preservation or preserve battlefields, but also the just bringing historians onto the field that have this talent. So it's amazing to have these people surrounding this area, and all the work that they do is fantastic and incredible. So that's what brings us here tonight. We decided, we wanted to chat with you guys since we've done this, the live videos, and we were walking out and about. We now have some time to sit down, drink a beer, and talk a little bit. We're like, maybe we should go live. We should share this conversation with them.
Share it with you.
Why the hell not? I didn't dump any tea in the harbor yet, but I'm still. There's time.
Well,
there's still time.
Well, the Rappahannock, yeah.
We can go to Boston. Really.
One thing I will say is we went missing for 2 hours yesterday because we did go to the office to see Terry, and it was great. Yeah, what an experience that was. And Terry's a great guy, and he works damn hard to acquire that land that, if we don't do anything about, it's going to end up looking like we pointed at the end of our Fredericksburg live videos yesterday.
Yeah,
to a housing apartment blocks. So
we saw a lot of that on.
The Jackson Trail today. Is upsetting that either side of one of the trails, or many of the trails, the trees are being chopped down, and they're clearing that land for obviously luxury houses or whatever they are. But it's ruining the area, man. It's because you think they're going to have to dig, electric cables in there, and they're going to have sewage, and it ruins the ground, and this is sacred ground. It needs to be saved and remembered. I
agree. And that's like one of my favorite slogans that CVBT does, is preserving dirt and grass, and that's such a real thing.
And it might be dirt and grass to Joe Bloggs, but to me and Tyler, it's everything,
Hold on. What did you just say?
Joe Bloggs.
Who is that?
He's just like a random
It's like Joe Blow?
Yeah, Joe Blow.
Joe Bloggs, yeah.
That's Joe Blow. He's actually Joe Bloggs in disguise.
Anyway. Mystery here. I love it. But one thing I really want to talk about today is we got to go around Chancellorsville, and then we went to Spotsy. We met some folks. They were Battlefield buffs as well, and they were out walking around, and they overheard me and Darren talking, and we went into almost an hour and a half conversation there too.
The thing is, they didn't know who they'd bumped into. That they'd bumped into Tyler, who is. Remember, guys, he was a park intern. Remind everyone your journey as a historian, Tyler, as in like the park service.
So, what got my start? It's a funny story, actually. It's not really funny. It's actually important too for its own right. I've struggled a lot with some depression in my life, very specifically right before I came into the Park Service. I think that was one of the low points I had struggled with at the time. And there was always one big Civil War book I kept on my bookshelf, and that was Frank O'Reilly's Winter War on the Rappahannock, the Fredericksburg campaign book. And I remember there was one night where I was up very late and I didn't sleep, and it was just really rough on my head. And I started browsing the park website, believe it or not, of all things, and I had come across this something about volunteering at the park. Okay, and I was like, oh well, that would be cool, but what's the likelihood in late December? Wow, now that I'm thinking about it, we're almost like what 2015 is when I got involved around December, November. So almost 6 years ago.
Mm. And you've lived on some. The one that really impressed me is, so we went out to the Chancellorsville and Spotsylvania. What's that place called? Visitors Centre.
Mm-hmm.
If you get the opportunity, you need to go there first, guys, because one thing about it is the fact that is where Jackson got wounded, right outside the doors of the Visitor Centre. But they've got an amazing museum. But Tyler used to live so when you work for the Park Service, you get to live in their accommodation on the grounds, because it's a very important role. You're not just a historian, you're actually looking after the ground as well. So
yeah, and what the first quarter, so like when I got what I was going back to with the 6-year mark, it just kind of dawned on me that was the case. I was like, wow, that's actually kind of cool. But I started as a volunteer after that one night where I was just not feeling like I had enough in me. I was really at a low point, and I found that there was an opportunity for me to become a volunteer, and I wasn't even holding a job at that point. It was just that bad. I didn't have anything to do. And the best thing that I could have ever done is what I did. And I called, and just hoping that maybe someone would be there as early as I was calling. And I think I called even before park hours. And I believe it was Mr. Hennessy that picked up the phone. And I asked him, I was like, I'm interested in becoming a volunteer.
Is that the same guy that wrote a book about Dan Sickles?
No.
Recently? No, I'm thinking somebody else.
There's no author by the name of Hennessy. I think they wrote a Sickles book, actually.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
You're thinking about Hessler.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. No, Hennessy works. He wrote the Manassas 2 books.
Okay.
But what he was saying, it's coincidence that you called because we have a volunteer training in like a week. I was like, really? So some things really are just like meant to happen and meant to be. So I think there was a serious something, stars aligning or whatever it might be.
Yeah, really... so you had a couple of things yesterday that might hopefully, watch your space, push you back into your passion.
I hope so. And
we won't say anything because obviously, we don't want to. It's a secret, yeah. We don't want.
But and I like staying in. Even this is something I'm very passionate about. Being able to come on here and talk history with you guys, and so unconventional compared to what I'm used to talking with history. But this is such an awesome approach, and I love being able to just have this position. But that's what brought me into this park, and I started doing that, and I became an intern, and I interned for a winter, spring, and summer internship, and then into a fall internship. And I've done things like living on the sunken road in the cemetery. That was my spring internship. And I lived out at Chancellorsville for my summer and fall. And oh my gosh.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I saw it. Yeah. It's literally in the woods.
Yeah.
In the wilderness, this cabin.
First time I ever saw a bear in person was out there.
I mean, you're going to be sitting on your porch drinking a beer in the evening, I'd imagine.
Yeah. And just,
mind you, you're not really supposed to drink on park.
No. But here's the fun part. Where I live now, we can drink a beer in the living room and be on fucking Wilcox's lawn.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. And we were supposed to go to Salem Church today, but time got away from us. And there is a good reason why we never went to Salem Church, because we do want to focus on Second Fredericksburg a little bit, because it's important to us as historians that's focused, because nobody remembers it. And thankfully for the two Chris's, one with a K, one with a C.
Great folks too, guys.
Yeah. Especially if you're on a porch having a cigar and a beer. Not that I had a cigar, but I had a beer.
I know. I was like, he doesn't want a cigar.
I don't smoke. I gave
British
up many, many years ago. And I don't want to smoke anymore. But that doesn't matter. I enjoyed the smell.
Oh, cool.
But so we got a really good opportunity today from last night, having a drink and a cigar. And Chris invited us on to talk about and give our pages a push.
Yeah, we've got the
emergency civil war. So watch this space. A video will be coming on emergency civil war in either tonight or tomorrow, with me and Tyler standing at the Jackson bivouac site. Jackson Lee bivouac site, in between those same two trees.
Yeah, that was cool. And I'm again, thanks to Chris for just
thankful for that.
Yeah, seriously. It was one thing I also wanted to ask you too, when we were talking about Fredericksburg, because I noticed one of the best parts, I think the highlight for me, was the cemetery in our closing, because we had some fun.
That was one of the best.
That was true Unfiltered at its finest.
And actually, we finished where we started, guys, that day, because we actually started at the CAF overlooking.
He
And as
calls
a
it the
son,
calf. Who said, someone commented earlier today and said that it's called the Battlefield Restaurant, but you've been calling it the calf on the videos, and someone is now like taking that title and calling it that from now on.
the Battlefield Calf, that's what it's called, isn't it?
No, Battlefield Restaurant.
I'll call it the Battlefield Calf.
Well, that's what everybody's calling it now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were like, "Oh, I love it. I've never heard it called that before." So
Well, it's a
that's
cafe,
what we're calling it. It is a calf.
Well, that's what we call it. That's what we call that kind of restaurant. You know?
See, we call calves here baby calves.
Oh, okay. But as in
So
a
it's
calf.
calf CALF.
Not calf. Yeah, calf.
Calf.
Cafe.
Here we go with the vocabulary
You know, I mean,
again. Oh, no.
yeah. Sorry.
Potato.
Yeah,
tomato.
I don't know why it's called that. I don't know why I called it. I thought that's what it was called.
I don't know if it's called tomato either.
But anyway, as we're sitting there talking to the lady, the lady that was serving us, she was a great lady as well. So interested in what we was doing, and the food is absolutely amazing. So please go and visit if you're there. The Battlefield restaurant.
Biscuits and gravy.
And as the sun was coming up, it was shining on the cemetery. And it caught our attention because it was frosty as well. And that was a moment. And that's where we started that morning, around about 6:30 in the morning, or 7 o'clock by the time we got there. And we finished the videos there, which was quite magical.
It was. And I want to take a second to give a huge shout out to Strangeways Brewing for allowing us to use their room here for our podcast today. We were going to just go live out there and plan to just wing it out of the bar, but they offered us this awesome room with these comfy chairs. I mean, like, this is awesome. Darren's got a comfy chair.
This pretty cool.
Can't beat it.
There's been some emerging Civil War stuff going on in here in the past. I've seen on.
And I can feel the residual Civil War conversations.
Yeah, you can. I think the theme in 2019, I don't know what it was. You might have to help me out here. Was
Forgotten Battles.
Forgotten Battles, yes. So on one of these sofas, they were sitting round in a circle discussing the Forgotten Battles, having a laugh and a joke about it. And Stephen Fan was here.
He was.
With his great
orange
suit.
blazer, yeah, that was awesome.
I've watched those videos so many times because, Emerging Civil War for me is a big influence in
they inspired
me as a historian, Not only their books, but their content. I watch a lot of the stuff that they put out there, and I read their blogs, and it's important to me. And that's why I wanted to go to the symposium. And I will make it to a symposium, but it'll have to wait until 2023.
And I think, they're some of the most inspirational in what I did. You go into the park and you start learning about this. And that was the first group that I picked up on that I was like, oh my gosh, these guys are amazing. And it's down to their books, too. Their books helped me understand a lot of the battles so much.
Their books are
phenomenal.
It's like it always says at the beginning of their books, they're easy to, or the audio versions, it's easy to understand narrative of a battle if you don't want to go too deep into the.
Right.
Because some books can be too heavy, And sometimes,
I like the heavy ones.
Yeah,
I do.
But for someone like myself, that really helps.
Mm-hmm.
Because I struggle with that, I can't do deep, rabbit hole books. And they just go straight into what's going on, and that's great. And there is some many good ones out there. So especially Fredericksburg one is one of my favourites so far.
I agree.
I really like that book.
Oh yeah, and that's actually the first one I've ever read, believe it or not. Yep, it was the Simply Murder by Mikowski and White.
Yeah.
The first book I read when I started working at Fredericksburg. Now, of course, I've read Frank's book countless times.
I've got Frank's book, but
you do.
I haven't because I was, I just didn't get time. And I'm still halfway through Forgotten Chancellorsville's Forgotten Front.
I got that on me on my book bag. Actually.
Yeah. The problem is I don't get a very long tea break at work, and
y'all get tea breaks at work.
By the time you get, that's what we call it, lunch break, tea breaks, whatever you want
to
call
it. I'm sorry, I didn't even laugh at
that's
you.
Right.
That's awesome.
By the time you sat down, you got your coffee or your tea or whatever.
Coffee.
You haven't got long enough to delve into it.
Speaking of coffee, how was that toasted mocha we got the other day?
That was amazing. Yeah. We won't say the brand, but it was pretty good.
Yeah. Why not?
Are you allowed to plug up big companies like that?
We drank Starbucks, and we talked about McDonald's. We're at Strangeways. I would say we had coffee. It's not. I'm not advertising.
Yeah. No, we're not advertising.
No.
Just saying, it's nice.
Now, who I am advertising is Strangeways.
We are definitely advertising Strangeways.
Yeah.
And
how do you like that, by the way?
I really like this. So I've got
what did you get?
It's like a chocolatey stout.
That was descriptive.
You know, well, that's what it is.
Yeah, it's a chocolatey stout.
It's nice.
Sausage stout.
Yeah. Don't start with the sausage.
I'm sorry.
He
Guys,
has to bring that up. So the running joke, guys, is, and Tyler does a good English accent when he says sausage.
Sausage.
There we go.
Yeah.
There's a video doing the rounds on YouTube, not YouTube, Facebook.
It was YouTube, you're right.
Was it YouTube?
It was YouTube.
About some bloke
YouTube.
getting road rage in England and then calling someone a sausage. But it's sort of like, here we go, we're going down that rabbit hole again, aren't we? It's like a voiceover. It's not
a
British
voiceover.
people-
This guy's yelling
In
sausage out
England,
the
sausage
window.
is an endearing word. As in, like, you call, oh, right, sausage, you know. You don't shout it as an insult in England.
You don't call me a sausage.
You don't get your
over
sausage
here, no.
out of your car and start lobbing them at people. You know, you sausage.
It just threw me off because I was expecting some like extreme expletive to come out, and this guy goes out. He's like, "You sausage!"
Yeah.
And I asked him on the last. I'm sure you guys saw that right before he actually came to the States. I was just like, "Hey, do you guys call each other sausages over there?" He was like, "What?" He was like, "What the hell are you on, Tyler? Like, why are you asking me this?" And okay, look, I have legitimacy to this argument. I saw somebody call someone a sausage. And
you proved it. Yeah.
I did. I found the video. It took a minute to find it again, but I found it. And I'm like, yo, this guy literally just called him a
People
sausage.
Google searching now, video with sausage, and be
careful.
Please be careful when you put that in the search engine, please.
Some very unsavory things might pop up.
You don't want sausage party popping up.
that was funny joke yesterday too. But
yeah,
and that's the thing too. Like when you watch our Unfiltered videos, yes, we do go on these like long, funny, like ridiculous tangents, but there's a reason because it's honest, true friendship that's happening, and you're seeing on these videos. This is how we act without being on camera too. So you're seeing us literally as we would be without camera.
Shall we tell the story of when we first saw each other like in person at the same time? So
all right, I'm not going to say the place where I work. But
he works for a company
that sells fucking turkeys. Apparently, that's what he said.
And I phoned him up and I said, "Oi, I'm out here by the turkeys. Where are you?"
You said effing turkeys.
Did I? I said the swear
I'm out
word.
here
I'm
by
not
the
going to say
effing
that on
turkeys.
here, am I?
I called him. I said, "You're out by effing turkeys. What is that?" I'm like,
"You're
here." He said,
"Where the hell are you?" You know,
he said, "You're here."
That was that.
So I ran out there and I damn near hugged the guy and tackled him when I saw him. I was like, I gotta go.
And it's just amazing, yeah. So we're feeling we're having a
brotherhood.
bromance, yeah. And then Tyler goes to me, "Well, you're gonna have to buy your own damn bed because I haven't got a bed for you." Thanks a lot, mate.
I offered a comfy couch
Yeah,
that I sleep on a daily
I know you
basis.
did, but where was you gonna sleep?
The bed in the back.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, friend.
No problem.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, it's comfy.
It is very comfy. So like it's incredible too to have him here from UK. I'm glad he arrived safe. The conversations we've been able to have are freaking phenomenal.
I've learned a lot of new words.
I have, and I mentioned to Chris earlier today. I was like, I have a new vocabulary, and it's not our English; it's his English. Yeah. I've learned a lot, and I'm happy to have learned a lot because now I can use all these fun words.
And now you ain't gonna know what it means after people you say them to.
That's the point. What did you say I can use? You said you can learn all these words or use these words at work.
Yes.
I was like, I can't use these words at work. You're not teaching me good words.
The funniest thing is the potato chip prices. I had a. I don't realise how loud I am sometimes, and when I saw the price of potato chips, I did say a few swear words.
He said, "Effing $4 for Cheetos." He said,
"I'm not paying that."
Then I was like, "Then get the variety bag where they have multiple different chips." He's like, "But that's $8."
Oh, yeah.
And then he gets to the teller at the end of
the till.
I still gotta pay tax.
I mean, I was expecting the mortgage advisor to come out in the back and like get me to sign something, you know.
Oh my God, no, guys! It has been awesome.
It's been amazing. And we're only 2 days in.
Yeah, we're not even done yet. This is only.
I don't want to go home.
No, it's only. There's a British answer. It's Tuesday, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Tuesday today, and tomorrow is Wednesday, and the day after that is Thursday.
Oh, it's Thursday or Thursday?
Yeah, I've got an exciting day
Yeah.
Thursday.
He does.
And I'm not going to share that with you yet. But
No, you'll hear more about that because this isn't the only unfiltered conversations that's happening this week by any means. We got Antietam on Saturday, guys.
Oh, yes. So expect some stuff coming from there.
Oh, yeah.
And it's my first time on that field. And if you saw my excitement for the Slaughter Pen Farm, wait until you see my excitement when I see those famous places. Because the guys we was talking to today at Spotsylvania,
They were nice guys, too. I'm glad we got to meet them.
He said to me, wait till you get to Antietam, he said, because there is no developments around there like there is around here. And it literally is the most pristine battlefield
and I'll
in
show
the
you
world.
when we get back to the apartment tonight. But there is a book I got called September Morn, and it's about the history of the Dunkard Church, of all things. There is a picture of when there was a trailer park behind the Dunkard Church.
Joking?
No. And dude, a whole tornado or a windstorm took the freaking church down at one point.
Well, I hope he was gonna say they took the trailers and blew them somewhere, but
that's how they're gone.
Where did they land?
Can you imagine manifesting a tornado? Just be like, okay, too much destruction.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't want to do that. It's not good. No. Not at all. But yeah, that's true. So the Dunkard Church actually has the tornado or a windstorm or something really crazy that blows that church down, and it's been rebuilt, obviously. So that's one thing to do note as we're going into the Antietam talk we'll have on Saturday, is that the church isn't all original. There are pieces of it that are, but like I said, those windstorms and tornado is a heavy topic too. And while we're on that topic, I do just want to shout out and keep people in our mind too. We had a severe storm hit the U.S. right before you showed up. I don't know if you saw that or not.
I've seen a lot of the footage, and it's
But
horrendous.
I have been talking about possibly trying to get some type of fundraiser going to send some support or do something to help with that. So just keep tuned and keep on the page for that. I'll probably open up a link here in the next couple of days on how you can help. We're trying to work out the best avenue of approach to help some of these guys out because they need it. They really do. There is some serious devastation going on, and we want to help if we can too. We're not just here to always talk history and drink beer and goof off and talk about how it's actually pronounced tomato, not tomato. But you guys caught yesterday, he slipped up and said the truth on that. He said it was a tomato. And he's admitting it still. He's still calling it a tomato, and I love it. Yeah, so, I'm glad he learns. He's learning vocabulary too. I'm learning vocabulary.
The other funny thing that's going on when we're not on the camera is we like to do some silly accents, you know.
Yes.
So
he'll make fun of my American accent.
Do a nice American accent.
And I like to do a nice British accent.
There we go. That was bloody good, actually.
Was it?
Mate. That was bloody
Was it convincing?
That was very good.
Thank you. I told him his American accent's pretty stellar too.
And another thing is, wherever we've been, a restaurant or a gas station or whatever, and then they end up getting plugged our page. I made the guy at the gas station write it down.
And it's his accent, guys. Like he'll talk to me like, "You're not from here." He's like, "Why? No, I'm not."
Oh, hello, chap. Anyway, there was a guy that surprised me today, and he. When an American asked me where I live,
the Fast Mart. Darren calls it the Fart Mart because he didn't realize it was called a Fast Mart. What's a Fart Mart? I'm like, what?
But he's got a Fart Mart at the end of his road. He said, "Yeah, I know, Kent." He said, "That's where the Romans landed," and I was like, "That's the first American that's ever knows where the Romans landed." I'm not saying that they don't know that, but
right.
What I'm saying is I was genuinely surprised that he knew that, and so I directed him to my page because I've got a very good video on there that was done on behalf of English Heritage with a nice lady called Jenny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go and watch that.
Awesome. Well, Darren, do you have anything else you want to add to our Unfiltered? We did a short one today. It's only about a half hour.
Not really. All I'm going to say is, though, I'm really tired tonight after, although we didn't do a lot of walking today, it's just a lot to take in. And
it is, and we're not even done yet. We're gonna have another brew here, and then we're gonna fill our heads with some books and some pizza.
Yeah, I really fancy pizza.
Yeah, I fancy pizza too. I don't even say the word fancy, but I fancy pizza.
Oh, I fancy it. Yeah.
So I fancy pizza.
Fancy.
Was that good? Fancy. That was really
fancy pizza. I don't know what that was, Tyler.
I don't either.
I don't think you even know yourself sometimes. And I will point out this morning, I actually had to do a seance to wake Tyler up because we had to do get the Ouija board out. And it wasn't because he was drunk or anything. He was just fucking knackered. Tired.
Knackered. I love that word.
Crackers.
He says that I am so knackered. I'm like, what does that mean? Are you tired? Are you hungry? Are you angry? He goes, no, I'm just tired. I'm like, awesome. Yeah, we've had a exhausting couple days, and as exhausting as they have been
They've
awesome.
been very enjoyable.
And I'm very glad to have a friend like this guy here.
Thank you
He's
very much.
of course, man.
Very
Like
much.
he's great, and we've only known each other
Don't do that
since.
so hard next time, though, because that's assault.
That's assault.
Yeah.
Welcome
It's hit
to
me.
America.
No, I'm joking.
Man, it's on camera too.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
afraid
it
he
is, actually. I've
was
got
about
proof.
to
I'm
say
gonna
he
take-
had some
I'm
like
gonna sue
surgery.
you
No,
on your ass.
now
Yeah.
I'm just about to come beside his head because I thought it would like hurt him and like he had some surgery on his knee or something. I'm like, hit you on your knee and pat you with endearment.
Another shout out to Noel Harrison if you watch his podcast.
Absolutely.
We love your support.
Yes, we do. And I saw all your text messages today, and I
Yeah,
kept
yeah.
trying to respond, Noel, but I'm sure you know this. Chancellorsville doesn't have the greatest cell reception. Okay, Chancellorsville has the worst cell reception in the world,
It's like a black
especially
hole.
if you have Verizon. I have tried, even when I lived there, it was just impossible to make calls. It was impossible to talk. But I saw everything you said. I appreciate it, and we are working to make these things happen for Darren. For everybody else that has watched, that has supported, that has been here for this, that is new to the page, thank you guys so much. This is the Unfiltered Historian. We are absolutely unfiltered. We're going to go get another beer. We're going to go eat some pizza. Then we're going to go read some Civil War books. And then we might even just randomly, maybe, possibly, pop on again because we have Restream available. We have podcasts available. We have quite a few days left. Thank you guys so much for joining. Y'all are awesome.
Don't forget Strangeways Brewery.
Strangeways, yes. Thank you to
and
Strangeways.
Richmond.
In 2 locations in Richmond, they have Dabney Road, they have Scott's
They brew
Edition,
their own
and they
beer.
have Fredericksburg too.
Yeah.
And also, guys, go give ABT, American Battlefield Trust, some love. Go give the Emerging Civil War some love, and go give Central Virginia Battlefield Trust
There you go.
some love.
Go and do it.
Have a fantastic Tuesday.